Hey there, ho there. It's me, Sarah. Hello, welcome to Video and Sarah, where it's all over the place. But right now, we're starting a new series. Starting today, welcome to it. Come here, come here, come here. We are talking art styles. I'm an artist. I've been making art for a little over 5 years. Crazy. I have a print shop. I have been in art shows. I have sold many commissions, which is kind of crazy when people buy art from me. I'm still in shock that people like my art and want to buy it. But when people ask me,
oh, like, what's your style? What kind of art do you make?
I always stumble a little on the answer.
Neo-primitive digital expressionism with a post-colonial undertone. Garble color bark.
I usually say something like, oh, I'm a maximalist pop artist. What does that even mean? When you look at my art, you can see some similarities. Like there's definitely a voice there, but it's not as consistent or refined. At this point, I think we're all familiar with like branding oneself. That's kind of what my art needs at this point in time. This is my series, What Even Is My Style? Where I explore in real time, on camera, with you, what is my style? It's about me as an artist, like really defining my voice. So if you're a creative of any kind, if you're an artist and you're also like, what am I, then this is a great place for you because I'm right there and we can kind of go through this together. And so I figured the best place to start, if I want to know where I'm going in the future, I think it's best to look at the past. And so today's episode is all about taking a walk down memory lane of all the art that I've made over the past 5 years. What I've liked, what I didn't like, what's working, what's not working, and just kind of a review. So come along. Where do we start? Well, I first started painting. Why am I yelling? I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning. When did I first pick up a paintbrush? The year was 2020. There was a little thing called coronavirus that had taken over the world just by storm. Okay, okay. I had just moved to LA to continue pursuing my dreams of acting and being a comedian. You know, couldn't perform on stage anymore. Thank you. Happy to be here. I did one Zoom open mic and said, I'm fucking done. So, after that, I was creatively bursting out of the seams. I mean, like, I just, wow, calm down. So, you know, being trapped in my apartment and not being able to creatively express myself, I had to find a way. So then I started kind of toying with painting. I started painting on cardboard because I didn't have any canvas, but I had paints, and so I was just like, okay, here we go. And I had a friend, and she was like,
oh, I love that. That's so cute. Like, no, I actually really like this.
I was like, okay, cool. And then I decided, okay, let me paint something else. And because I painted my friend's cat in this cardboard thing, I was like, let me paint another friend's cat and kind of like all these things that she liked. I posted that on Instagram and I had so many replies from other friends that were like, oh my God, this is so cute. I want one for my cat, blah, blah, blah. So then I just started painting people's cats, mostly cats. Eventually dogs came into the picture, but the dogs were rough at first. The dogs were so bad and sad. Actually, some of the cats, like now that I'm looking at them, like, I still think like this first one that I did, actually, it's pretty cute. And like the fact that I chose that pose for the cat, like that's pretty advanced. But then I look at some of the other stuff. I did this cat that was on this chair and like that is a busted ass cat. That is a busted ass cat. But there's kind of some charm into it. Like it's very there is an art term for it. I want to say like childish, but that's not it. I mean it is amateur, but there's a word for it, and it could be a choice, but it was a choice, was half a choice and half my ability. too. Like, I like that it looked kind of bad. I just kind of accepted that I don't have any training. I'm just gonna wing it. And as long as you can tell what it is, that's good enough for me. So I continued making pet portraits for a solid year. 2 years. I loved the pet portraits. They are kooky bananas, colorful, chaotic. They were so fun, and I loved that it connected me with friends. I'm working on a painting for my friend Ashley, but I can't decide. Do we want to go vertical? Do we want to go horizontal? Horizontal tango. I liked painting animals because it was cool to see them come to life and be like, oh my God, that actually looks like a cat. It was always fun to have some sort of background, some sort of landscape, some sort of setting, and then just kind of like pop in objects. And that really kind of set my tone. And that was a very specific style that was working for me, but it was getting exhausting, and I didn't want to just do pet portraits forever. You know, I wanted to sort of start playing with what is my style. I've been playing with what my style is forever, but I really wanted to kind of start exploring like what original paintings would look like. What do I want to paint versus painting very specific things of other people's interests. And part of me also, because the pet portraits are so much and I wasn't making a lot of money, and I was like, in this economy? But I wanted, honestly, like, have a print shop where I could have some sort of passive income. You know, I wanted to grow my art business, and in order to do that, I needed to start looking at original work and exploring that. So that's what came next. And what that ended up being was a project I called Everything That Happened in 2020.
Spent 55 days painting everything that happened in 2020. This is the biggest painting I've ever done. I'm really proud. You like?
Beginning in January 2021, I started painting all the big news things, all the big moments of 2020. Because again, I was still in lockdown. TikTok was exploding. And I was like, I need to get on TikTok. And my dumb ass comedy videos weren't doing well. Message, a message for you. Oh! Draw 4, but wild. What in your life is crazy? Where in your life can you get crazier? And multiply it by 4. Are there 4 things in your life that you need to get cuckoo on? Are there 4 people in your life that you need to kiss on each cheek? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yeah. I guess maybe in that case you would need 2 people, and that makes 4 cheeks, unless you count their butts. So I started a series. Honestly, it was fun. It was exhausting. I painted an object, a moment, every single day. Like, the painting itself turned out, I can't even look at it now. It's so beyond chaotic. But I do hope years down the line, someone's gonna buy it for like $1 million. Because it's historical, baby. I don't have it on hand right now, otherwise I would show you. It's in storage. Rippy-doo, but I'll, you know, look at that. Look at that right there. Yeah, I think the first thing I painted was toilet paper, because as soon as like COVID was toilet paper was sold out everywhere. Everyone was just, there was a toilet paper shortage. I have Eminem and his surprise performance at the Oscars. Remember that? I have WAP. WAP came out. Bread, because everyone was baking bread. Oh, I have Kobe, his jersey, because he passed away. And it was wild. I was living in LA when Kobe passed away. I remember that day. And anyways, I mean, I have Free Britney on there, protests on there. I mean, there's just, there's just a ton of things. Some niche, some less niche. I honestly need to create like a key, because I'm looking at some of it and I'm like, what is that? Like, looking at this painting, I hate it. I don't hate it. I just think it is so chaotic, and you can't tell what some of the stuff is, and maybe it doesn't matter. It was an experience, like it was a project. I have these videos that correspond with the painting itself, but I can't hang it on my wall because I'm just judging it too much, you know? So anyways, after this 2020 adventure, what did we do next? What did we do next? So after that, I sort of made a couple paintings here and there with little success. I was like, I don't know what I want to make. Everything I tried to paint looked really stupid or ugly, or it was unfinished, or I didn't know. So there was kind of a gap where I really wasn't making much. So fast forward. This was the phase that helped me get to where I am now. Again, was still kind of doing chaotic things, and by that I mean just throwing a bunch of objects into spaces. During that time, I was spending more time on my iPad creating digitally than painting. I did a couple paintings and they just, they did not turn out at all. I didn't like them. I was trying to kind of merge my interests of theater to have something theatrical with stages, and also trying to have a theme to some of these paintings where it just included a lot of stuff. So it was a little surrealistic. I just don't think they looked good. I think the ideas were sort of there. I just think my skills weren't quite there, which is why I liked creating in Procreate, because honestly I traced a lot. I was able to erase and redo and play with colors. When you're painting, you kind of just have to lean into it. You can't erase, but with my iPad I can erase. I can start over. I can try this color and that color, swap it out, or you know, I don't like that girl's face, so I kind of redraw it. Part of that led me to discovering my dancing girl. Oh my gosh, there's a piece of fucking hair. This dancing girl who became a recurring motif in a lot of my pieces going forward. I loved how she expressed herself. I felt like I could have anything and put this woman in there, and it just said so much of what I was trying to say. So finding her was a very cool discovery, and it kind of helped me feel like I am an artist who has something to say, which led me to start really taking my art more seriously again. Because I was working digitally, I was really able to like output a lot more onto social media. And again, I had friends reaching out and being like, I really like your work, this is really interesting. Then I started to chat with a friend who at that point worked in art curation, and she was giving me some helpful tips. And so then I started to apply to art shows, and I got accepted into two, one for a digital piece and then one for a painting piece. Because from there, I did start to find some paintings that I was really enjoying. Because how I used to approach my paintings is I would go in sort of with the vision and just start painting and then add on. Because I was working digitally first, I would sketch something out, then put it on canvas, which, my God, how revolutionary that was for me. So from there, I started to kind of find some stuff with painting, but painting just takes more time. Wow! Whoa! Okay, at this point, I'm like, okay, great. I'm getting my website in order. You know, I'm starting to think like a businesswoman and how to start selling my art. At that point, I had hired art coach, like my business art coach, and they gave me a lot of helpful stuff. I started to see prints selling. The other thing is, I'm just rambling so much. So anyways, like 2024, and I'm like, you know, I'm painting a little bit, I'm making prints, all the while there's other life things going on. And the other thing that I have struggled with as an artist, and just like a creative and an actor and comedian who very much still wants to do that stuff, but I don't have a venue for it anymore. You have to be a content creator.
Are there any other artists out there that after you finish a painting, you have to take it around your apartment, put it in all different spots, and look at it again and stare to see if it's done? you know? Do you?
So a good portion of like my creative thinking was like, how can I make art and make content at the same time? This is where I just kept getting stuck, because I was like, I don't really love what I'm painting. A lot of my digital work I like, but that's not as interesting on camera. It's selling well, but it's not interesting on camera. So I was like, how can I paint? I also enjoy painting, but I'm not enjoying the paintings that I'm making. So it reached a point where I was juggling a lot and I didn't know how to move forward. Also at that time, I moved, I traveled, and now like a year later, I'm living with my mom and my sister, and I'm still kind of in the same position where I'm making digital art, and now I kind of know what's working. I've assessed a little bit, and my Etsy shop is selling more than it has, but I want to get back to painting, and the last painting I made, it did not turn out the way I wanted it to at all. It started good, it ended bad. Again, I found myself going, what am I making? And of course, comparison is a bitch. I see other artists that are thriving on social media, and I know social media only shows like the highlights, blah, 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 blah. But these artists have a very consistent style and taste in what they're putting out there. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's where it's like, I'm making art that I like and I feel other people like, and I want to keep doing it and keep getting better. And how do I do that? That's what the series is about. Oh God. And this is where I feel overwhelmed, because there's so much I want to do and so much I want to achieve. And I'm 37! And I haven't really had much success in my life. And I'm screaming again! Okay, so having gone through all of that, what's next? Where do we go from here? Or I guess, what are my thoughts? I'm just surprised that I'm still here, I'm still making art, and that there are people that it is resonating with and connecting with. I just have so many endless ideas, which is exciting. So I know that means I'm onto something, you know? So what's next for this series? Great question, I'm so glad you asked. The next episode specifically, we're gonna dive into what is an art style in general, because I am a self-taught artist. I don't have a background in art history. Sure, I have a theater degree, so I've studied that kind of art, but I basically want to take myself to school. Maybe we'll go to the library, maybe we'll do some research, and I just really kind of want to understand what defines an art style. So yeah, if you're a creative, a little lost, a little messy, a little in the middle, I would love for you to join me along on this adventure as I wade my way through this. And hopefully by the end, you know, we come out with a stronger version of who we are as artists. So, all right. I've talked enough. See you in the next one.